Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Lady Nika, and with Saturday's episode of Iyanla Fix My Life, we're going to talk about parts 1 and parts 2. And because I just seen this stuff, I saw it Saturday, but y'all know I was still doing birthday shenanigans on Saturday, so I wasn't focused. I just went back and watched both parts, and because I wrote so many notes and it was so many key points to this story, it may be in two parts. So if you don't see that this in the title says part 1 and 2, I'll upload the second part of it right after this uploads, okay? So we start off with part 1. It's called Female Felons. We meet Brandy, 36 years old now. Was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison, left behind a 3-year-old son. She was with a drug dealer. You got Tai. She met a man, a drug dealer, and when he was indicted, she caught a conspiracy charge, and she was pregnant at the time. Matilda, 65, went in at age 45 on this charge. Served 18 years of a 30-year sentence for not snitching on her sons, who she said sold drugs, and it was basically to feed the family. They all met on the inside and built a bond because of their biological family was not able to be there for them while they were on the inside. Tai did 5 years for conspiracy to sell drugs because her boyfriend was a dealer and she knew that he was dealing drugs. And now she is in the process of trying to fix things with her youngest kid, who she left after he was only a month old. She said he's having a difficult time, and she's just trying to figure out, how do I fill that void that is in him, which may be why he's acting out. I said, girl, it's deeper than that. Anyway, she's all right with her two oldest boys. They seem to have adjusted all right with her absence those 5 years. She recalled the day that she was arrested. She said there was a hard knock on the door. She said she got her two kids in bed. This is Brandy we're talking about. She said she got her two kids in the bed. She throws them over in a corner. She said her two kids was in the bed. She threw the cover over them and told them that she would return. In her mind, because she grew up in a household where drugs were sold, she knew that beating could be one of two things. Either it was the po-po or it's a nigga trying to rob you. And she was relieved to see that it was the police, because at least there was not someone trying to come into the home and, harm her and her children. So she went to jail. Now, she said the day she went to jail, 2 days later, would have been her son's birthday and a party was planned. She didn't get out for 2 weeks, so when she talked to her son, he was hurt over the situation, and she said that broke her on the inside. Now, I'm sorry, that was Tai's story. Brandy's story is she got pregnant with her child while her dealer boyfriend was on the run, and tells us that the police was at the door. She called her dad. Her dad told her, hell, they ain't got no warrant. They would have came in if they did, so don't open up the door. And she believed and trusted what her father said because he, too, was a dope dealer. Brandy said through growing up for her, she thought she had a regular life. Her dad was a drug dealer, but he was home with the family. The mom was a stay-at-home mom. She felt like her dad was a good father figure, the epitome of man in the home. And she looked for men much like her father. She told us she went to private schools. They had family vacation and whatnot. And she said that since that was the lifestyle that she loved, she only dated drug dealers. She liked the lifestyle but never thought about the consequences of dealing with a drug dealer. She had no clue or thought about the fact that her dad and her man was actually pumping poisons into the community. It didn't matter to her. She just was living her best good life, and she continued to do so. Now, Brandy and Tai said that Brandy and Tai remind Matilda of her two daughters, Keisha and Nicole. So she gravitated to those girls because of it. Plus, they found out in their bonding friendships that they had a whole lot of similarities, okay? They gravitated to Matilda because she was caring and sweet and reminded them of a mother figure. That's how they built their bond, okay? Now, Matilda said she had 10 kids. She went in and she received 30 years. She went to prison to protect her sons who were selling drugs, to feed, clothe her kids and their siblings. And Iyanla asked her why. She said because she was struggling, trying to work, trying to go to school. And Iyanla said, like hundreds of other black women on the planet, we didn't do it. Now, Matilda admits that she knew her kids were selling drugs and she was desperate. So, to be able to feed them and they not go hungry, she had to deal with being okay with her kids selling drugs and bringing her some of the profit. Iyanla told them that all she does is, she said that ain't none of us a stranger to desperation, you know. Everybody done had a issue in their life, a hard time in their life, you know. But at the end of the day, we didn't choose to go out there and sell drugs, and we were not complicit in helping our children do it as well. Iyanla told them that she's no stranger to desperation, but they all was in prison long before they was locked up. And she said today is the day that we open the door for good. Some realities are going to be revealed, and it may not feel good at first, but do the work for the healing. Iyanla then said that they have distorted narratives, and if they want to be free for real, they got to face some uncomfortable realities, and that is why she is there. She said, now, why did you come see me? And Matilda said, I don't know, because right now I'm not liking you much. I said, girl, because you because you about to have to walk in your truth dealing with her. The truth may be hurtful and uncomfortable, especially if it applies, if you've been lying to yourself for years and failing to realize why you are as you are and why you have acted as you have acted. Of course, she's not going to seem like she's very appealing because you ain't going to play her right now. Now, Ty said the judge allowed her, like I told y'all, to have the baby and turn herself in, after her kid was 1 month old and the child was 5 when she returned home. They say today she said today he's not doing so well, Iyanla said, because he's marinated in the fact that for however long she was pregnant, when she did catch the charge, all those 9 months, all she did was sit up and be concerned and stressed out and worried about the fact that she gonna have to leave soon. And her baby felt all of that. And any woman that's ever been pregnant, your doctor tell you all the time, try to keep yourself positive and happy and stress free, because what you feel, your fetus feels. And it could have some adverse effects on that child once he's born. Now, you may think he alright, but because of what you done been doing when he was in the womb, that shit transferred, and it may manifest itself immediately or later on in life, and the child just have to be careful, honey. Matilda's mom wasn't alive when she went in, we learned. She died at 90, and Matilda said she died from overwork. Matilda was 37 when her mom died, and her mom was 53. And she died of overwork. Iyanla explained that she wants them all to walk away from this knowing who they are as women, because when you know who you are, you do not put yourself in harm's way. And I'm going to say this again for the slow babies in the bag, because this is a word. When you know who you are, you don't put self in harm's way. She sat with Matilda first and asked what she wanted, and Matilda said she wanted to reconnect with her family and her daughters. She said her daughter said she has no feeling, but she feels guilt. She said she has expressed that to her daughters, but she don't seem to hear her. I said, I'm sorry, y'all. Iyanla explained that this process is going to do something that you probably not going to be comfortable with all the time, but if you stick with the process, you're going to be appreciative of it, and it'll be a turning point in your healing, self-awareness, and building better relationships with your children, okay? It's time to do things a little differently. So the next day, they all sit at the table, the breakfast table. And did y'all see how they sat? Like they really was still institutionalized. They didn't eat until she offered food. She said they got muscle memory, like as if they still in prison. And even though they are free, they still have some of those prison ways stuck in them. Brandy said you remember when she first got home, she still found herself standing up and feeling like she had to do a certain thing because every day at 4 o'clock, her body began to be accustomed to this count that they have to do. And so every day around that time, she'll stand, be silent, and preparing for count. And she's free now. So basically, she became institutionalized in a sense. And I've seen that before in other people. Tai said she would still hear the doors closing. And, all she would think during them times is, how did I get here? And Iyanla said, how did you? They all had answers, but not the most important one. And Iyanla told him, I'm here because I didn't tell the truth. She said they may not even know they even had options in life. That's another reason that could have contributed to those women going through what they went through. Tai said she wanted to be a doctor child. She said she grew up in a drug dealing home, but that's what she wanted. She went so far as to say, even though that's what she wanted, it was something she didn't feel like she was good enough to have. She didn't feel like she would have the support, and she didn't feel like she was good enough for her to have aspirations as big as being an obstetrician. So what she did instead was, because she gave up on herself, she manipulated her mother into sending her into a hood school when she had already been accepted into a rather nice school because she wanted to hang out with them friends and be accepted with them. And she gave up on herself because she didn't feel like she had the support that she needed for her to be able to do what it is that she wanted to do. And when she realized that, she broke completely down. And then I felt the ways, y'all. I felt the ways. Let's talk about it right quick because I'm almost at the end of part 1. I felt the ways about this episode and, these 2 episodes combined. And now I see why I kind of shied away. Now, last week I did see part 1. And I told you guys in an earlier video, I was like, I really didn't feel like I had anything to say. I was kind of numb to the situation, and I could not quite articulate to you guys what it was that I was feeling about that episode that made me want to shy away. Well, when I had to revisit this again today, and I thank God for self-awareness. They say with age, you're supposed to get wisdom, get knowledge, but above all things, get an understanding. You know why this episode was so difficult for me? Because a lot of the things that I saw in some of these women, I had inside of me at one point in time. It was like revisiting a period in my life where I wasn't happy. Now, true, I did not go to prison. Thank God, knock on some wood, okay? I didn't go to prison, but I knew what some of these women was feeling like growing up in an environment where you got dreams bigger than this environment that you're in. And because other people have conditioned themselves to remaining in this environment and never elevating for something better, they tend to not support your dreams. I remember, and if any of you have been with me a minute, you may recall I told you at one time in my life, I did want to be an attorney. And when I spoke to the counselor at my school, which I went to a magnet school, she was very optimistic about it, enthusiastic about helping me, get into the classes I needed to be able to be prepared to go into that college setting as a pre-law student. But when I went home and I talked to my aunt who took over guardianship over me when my mother died, she crushed me that day. And for years, it really resonated with me. I remember like it was yesterday, y'all, and I was in like 9th grade when I made that decision. I remember being in her little red car because they would pick me up every day from school. and saying to her, I got in the car so excited, guys, like just so excited, because I had told my guidance counselor at school what my aspirations were, and based upon my grades, she was really excited about it. She thought it was a great career choice for me and felt that I would do well in the field. Only for me to come home or get in the car on the way home to talk to the people who are supposed to uplift me and to have her crush me. When I told her, my guidance counselor said that Harvard Law School was not an impossibility for me, but very much so a possibility. And she said, girl, where that kind of money gonna come from? You talking about going to law school, that's a whole lot. And that crushed me in that moment, because here I am, a young teenager who has made a decision about my life for a career that I know that I would probably do very well in, and the people that were supposed to encourage me and not bring in the financial aspects and all of that, you're supposed to keep me encouraged. You crushed me in that moment. And I think that's part of why she and I had such a horrible relationship, because from that moment on, I saw her as somewhat of an enemy. I felt like she was almost, for a lack of a better term, a hater. You ain't shit but a maid, and you think that that's what I'm going to be. That's why I felt like they did not like me, as, when my mother died and I had to come stay with her. I felt like they kind of didn't like me, because my cousins used to always say that my mom had us uppity and we lived in the good neighborhoods, and they would always make that differentiation between me and my brother, my siblings, and them, like we were the rich cousins that come through every now and again to the hood to hang out with the hood cousins, when in actuality, they had nothing to do with it. How am I supposed to hang out with you all the time when my mama was in school? My daddy worked a full-time job. My mama worked full-time too. I'm in school myself. I wasn't supposed to walk to the other side of town. So I kick it with you when the parents allow us to be able to do it, and that's when they got time for this shit. But I done went way over to the left. I wasn't trying to go that far, but the bottom line of what I'm saying is, it bothered me to see that show, because it brought back some of those memories of when I first lost my inspiration to follow my dreams. And I say to anybody within the sound of my voice, I don't give a damn if you 8 to 80 blind cripple, and just don't be crazy. If you got something out there that you want to do, don't let the circumstances that you are in stop you from trying to get to that dream that you want. I don't give a damn if you from the poorest of neighborhoods, the most ratchetest families. Still, seek out your dream at all costs, because you can be that. Looking back now, I get angry sometimes, and you're probably able to determine that in my voice, but I get angry simply because I think of what could have been had I had somebody that pushed me and supported me in that. Then I look at the other side of the coin. Maybe that wasn't the path that God had for me, because if I had become an attorney, I may not know all of y'all sweet little love things. I might not be here today, right here. But the fact that it was chopped off at such an early age in my life, I never shared nothing else I wanted to do, and I went with the flow. The flow was food. It's okay for a bitch to cook in somebody's kitchen. It's okay for you to have all these menial jobs, but it's not okay for you to dream bigger than that. Instead of being somebody's employee, it's fucked up that you got family members that encourage you to always be an employee and never a boss. It's messed up that you have family members and friends who don't encourage you to be the best that you can be, but only to get to a certain level and stay stagnant because that's what they doing. Anyway, they all spoke at their table about challenges they faced, just to survive. Iyanla invited Keisha's daughter, Matilda's daughter. She is number 11 out of 12. And y'all remember Matilda said she had 10 children. We learned Matilda had a drug problem. And another thing, That's another thing Matilda omitted. So now it's finna heat up because now Iyanla has found out two things that she did not know in the 2 days of talking with this woman that she should have been privy to. Part 2 takes us to Iyanla finding out Matilda had gone to prison before the 18-year sentence that she had for child abuse, and Iyanla was surprised because, like I said, in the 2 days of talking to Matilda, she never spoke about this. Matilda went to jail for 5 years. Matilda was only given the less painful part of her story. Keisha says her and Matilda have a good relationship, meaning Keisha don't have to worry about her well-being, as in her passing away while she in prison. But she admits they have some major issues. Keisha says she had Keisha close her eyes and tell her what she wants. She said she wanted her mom and her to have a good relationship. She hates her for leaving, and through tears she said her mom shows no emotions. She thinks her mom shut down in prison, and Iyanla told her, baby, your mama shut down long before she had that prison sentence. We revisited the being okay with accepting drug money for Matilda kids, and her mom was 19 in a nursing school when she got pregnant with Matilda, and how her mom felt like maybe she shamed the family. So she left Matilda with the grandmother at age 3. So Matilda got issues as well because she feel like she was never accepted. See the process? See how things are going here? All we got out of this whole situation, and I'm going to break it down, part 2 wasn't that much. It was actually the healing process. We had the daughter, Keisha. Mama was gone. We was best friends. I don't understand why she had to leave me. Nicole, another daughter. I think Nicole is the baby daughter. She was upset. Mama left at 6 years old. She never came back. She missed a lot of things in my life. Even when she brings the prison daughters and the biological daughters together and let them intermingle and see what they know about Matilda, one thing they all agreed to was the fact that Matilda does not like to talk about stuff that hurts her. She's good at trying to overcompensate and help everybody else, but she don't want to receive the healing and help that she needs to be a better version of herself for her family. Iyanla did explain to her, to Keisha, look, what you looking for in your mom, you looking for her from her at Keisha, the child that she left behind. You're not looking at it as Keisha and Nicole, the 20-something-year, 29, 25-year-old women that you are today. And what you're going to have to learn to do is you're going to have to learn how to accept who she is today and understand that she cannot fix that or fill that void that she gave y'all when she left y'all at certain points in your life. She can't do nothing about it. When Iyanla went to try to talk to Matilda about learning that she had children, 2 extra children, Matilda got defensive. She didn't want to talk about it. She did say that, the case was solved. It involved a rape of her when she was in her own bed, and she's not going to talk about it. We were not privy to exactly what happened to cause her to lose custody of the children. All we were told was it had something to do with a child abuse, and she went to jail for 5 years. That is not the issue. We just want her to admit that happened and how that made her feel. Because holding on to that stuff, you can't fly with a lot of shit holding you down. So Iyanla suggests that we go to the court of life. You have a cop come and give these women summonses to appear in court for certain charges. She gets the daughters, and she get both sets of daughters, prison daughter and biological daughter, to all reconvene in this court-style situation. And it's at that moment Matilda has to own her shit. She has to be able to say to her daughters, look, I am sorry that I wasn't there for you when you needed me to be there for you, but what you looking for in me now, I can't give to you because I can't go back and do create time, and y'all are still at 6 and however old the other child was when I left. What I can do today is just work on being restructuring and being a better me and being supportive to y'all as best I can, but I gotta work on me for a change. Man, when she was able to finally put her first and stop trying to lie and make apologies for her actions, we had a breakthrough. She finally was able to say that, you know what, I fucked up because somebody fucked me up. And that's the bottom line of it all. You can't look for healing, or you can't try to heal nobody else when you still broken on the inside. I tell you all the time, I'm cracked but never broken. I have many a cracks, but I will not break because I wasn't built to break. But in order for me to be strong for my children, be a friend to my friends, I have to be mentally, spiritually, and physically all right. I have to be all right with every situation that has ever happened to me, and I work on that daily because it's a lot to my story, a whole lot to my story. And I think it's because I do work actively daily on working through my issues and being a better person, is that you all are the result of it is you all are able to come over here to me sometime and get something you need. Because I've been there. And believe it or not, when you share your stories down in the comment sections of my videos, I'm able to gain something from that too. We helping each other. And the whole deal with these people was it was like a generational curse is what I saw. The grandmama didn't do right by the mama. The mama then was ill equipped to know how to do right by her children. Now her children got children and they on the path of doing the same shit again with these kids. Cause look, Nicole had a baby at 15, so did Matilda. It was they weren't the only ones, but I think that was the deepest story. That's the reason why it took up so much time, because it was very easy to finally say to Tai, you know what? You have a voice. When you got problems, it's okay. Allow yourself to tell people no. Let them know that you need help. That you don't have to put on a facade. For Brandy, she learned, girl, you was a hoe. Now, she was a hoe and she ain't know. But she was still a hoe. Just because you weren't with a random man every night, when you sit up and say, I look to my father as being what I need in other men because he stayed home, provided for the people and everything, but what he was doing for a living was not a good lifestyle for you to have ever known anything about. He was basically pumping poison into the community for pay. Destroying somebody's life for pay. And when Iyanla asked her, how would she feel if somebody gave it to her son? Oh, I want to go out here and wreck shop. Well, that's the same way somebody else's family feel. But that was only a layer of her. She had to understand that, girl, you are more than just getting with a man that's got some money and he could do something for you. You don't know how to love a man unless, well, she said she do with her baby daddy, but prior to, she admitted that she was just in it to win. She wasn't trying to have no relationships with nobody or nothing like that. And I respect what she said. I think they got it. All of them really got it in the end. But again, the reason why this was a hard review for me was simply because it opened up the doors, or it took a Band-Aid off of some of the process I'm doing with myself and the wounds that I still have. So because I was seeing that shit, like when Matilda said she had a baby so young, and it was because she wanted love and a father figure. That's kind of where I was with it. And I shared that with you guys. I had my first daughter when I was 16 years old. I turned 17 a week later. Because her birthday on September the 15th, as you all know, mine was just this past Friday on the 21st. And I really had my baby because after my mama passed away, and the family I had at that point was not what I was used to. It wasn't a loving, healthy environment, in my opinion, for me to thrive in. And I did not feel like I had love of nobody but my grandmother, and she was aging. So I wanted something of my own, and I had a baby. And that probably wasn't the best idea, but I played with the hand I was dealt. But I saw a lot of myself in these stories. Again, I may not have gone to prison, but I probably walked some of the same lifestyle roles that these ladies played. I played them too. I dealt with all of this stuff these women. The only thing these women did that I didn't do was I didn't necessarily date no damn drug dealers. I was the drug dealer, and I didn't go to prison. But the broken home and all of that. And I think a part of my grace and mercy was the fact that for 13 years, I was in a structured, functional family. I had that. That was my beginning. After my mother passed, the hazy years. And I came out of the hazy years scarred. But I wasn't broken. And somebody got hold to me and they helped me get to the realization that I may not have, it's okay that I went through that. It's okay that they did this to me. I have every right to be upset about it, but I ain't got to live in it, And that's what each and every one of these women learned in this episode, these 2 episodes. They learned that, child, you can... The only thing that truly sets you free is living in your truth and admitting your truth. You ain't got to be beat up by your truth, and you don't have to be judged for your truth. But acknowledge your truth and acknowledge the trauma that you went through when that truth was going on in your life and how you have been affected by it since then. Search for healing at all costs. Because you cannot be an incomplete person and live a happy, functional life. You can't. I tried it. It failed. But I think I probably went on longer than what I really planned on going on. Y'all, I'm sorry I've talked so damn long. Get down in the panel section and let me know your thoughts and opinions about this. I know I probably was all over the place, but again, this was kind of different because this was like bullets hitting me. Boom. Boom, boom. And I had to open up, and in order for me to be who I am on these YouTube streets and in real life, which is my real authentic personality, I couldn't do it and be on some bullshit. There was no way I could do this review and not give y'all the most authentic side of me, because this was my truth, y'all. I lived this, and I know the struggles each and every one of them women was going through. Each and every one of them. I felt their pain. Our pain was the same at points in my life. But that's it, y'all. This is probably the worst video I probably ever have done. I'm so sorry about that. But, y'all, this is the best I could do. I just had to do it. Just talk about it and do it the best way I knew how to do it. I'm sorry if it don't make no damn sense or whatever. But I tried. And this was the best I could come up with. I mean, it's me, And I hope that you all are able to understand. That's it. I'm rambling that bitch. Let me get on. Remember, the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please remember to rate, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like to. And I'll see you back tomorrow morning for a tag video. I was tagged in it by Miss Hermit, Hermit TV Junkie. Y'all check her channel out if you have not, for all the latest, greatest reviews. And I'll see you. I'll holler at y'all then, child. Thank y'all again for all of the beautiful birthday wishes. Thank you for coming over to the live on Friday night. I had a wonderful time with y'all. Y'all hear me hostage the whole hour more than what I wanted to. But, child, I really did have a good time. And I look forward to doing future lives. Now, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to start doing no lives every week. No, God, honey. But I will try to do them a little bit more frequently than every 4 months. I'll try to do it more than that. Anyway, y'all have a great remainder to your Sunday. Peace.